And you're live.
Here we are, folks, live from the basement of my friend's house in Colorado Springs, Colorado, right at the base of Pikes Peak, America's mountain. And I did a fantastic job in qualifying in my unplugged performance right here. Tesla Model 3 running electric. Qualified first by a lot. Finished, I don't know, I think we were like 10th or 12th overall out of 55 mostly real race cars. My Tesla is a street car with a bunch of good suspension components on it. Then the next day, well, it was early morning, first run, center section, bumpy road, cold tires. I lost it, crashed big time. All crashes are big time at Pikes Peak. It's not made for going off the road. I don't recommend it. So here we are to talk about it. I appreciate y'all coming on the channel. Guess what? Super chats are available as we progress and get further down the road. We get better and better. And we will soon begin offering memberships. So you can raise your level, get that much closer. We can be like this, you know what I mean? It'd be great. So we can talk about Pikes Peak, but really we can talk about anything. But this is my 6th time at Pikes Peak, and it is a pleasure and a challenge and a thrill and an adrenaline rush like no other. And then when you crash, you feel lower than a caterpillar's belly button there, whatever, you know. All right, let's see what we got here.
They're on the right side.
Owen Sparks, hey Randy, hey Owen, what's up? Nick Kuhn, good evening. Cool. Glad you are. What about mine? Glad I'm okay? Thanks, Nick. Yeah, it wasn't that big a hit for me, but it sure bent up the Tesla. Yeah, cars can be fixed. And guess what? The race team's been working on it all night. It's one of them all-nighter things. Exciting, because when it was wrecked, they looked at that car, said, no way, we're done. We're going to go back to LA. That's where Unplugged Performance is headquartered. Run by Ben Schaefer, same guy that runs Bulletproof, which specializes in the Nissan GTRs. So he is not new to high-performance cars. Okay, thoughts on Casey Puch? I don't know, I need help on that. I don't know about Casey Puch. The thing is, when I'm racing, I don't watch the news. I don't watch the news in general, actually. Got to apologize for that. I'm not really up on current events. I hope the hurricane wasn't too bad in the Gulf. I hope it didn't knock my house down in Atlanta. I don't know. Okay, Todd S. Hello, Randy. I'm near Salt Lake City. Have you raced at Utah Motorsports? Yeah, I've raced at Utah a lot. Great track, long track. If you run the full course, a lot of corners. A little bit hard to learn the track because it looks the same all the way around. What's great about that is very little to hit. If you get in trouble, go off track, you're probably going to be fine. Utah's got a little bit of altitude. We bring in a little bit of attitude. In fact, they got a set of corners called the Attitudes, a little bit over a bump. My craziest memory from Utah was I was racing the all-wheel drive Volvo S60. The weather forecast said rain 100% Saturday morning for qualifying. We're like, yes, we're going to kill them because we're the only car with all-wheel drive in World Challenge GT. This is back about 2012. We come out Saturday morning for qualifying. No, it's not rain, it's snow. And this is in the middle of summer. You never know what you're going to get out west. Where in the east, it's much more predictable. So you know what they did? I'm like, snow? Okay, let's go. Nah, they canceled the qualifier. What a disappointment. Guaranteed pole for me or my teammate. I can't remember if it was Alex Figge or Andy Pilgrim at the time. Yeah, Utah rocks. Lots of corners, a couple of cool fast ones. Hello from Argentina. Wow. Hope to have you down here someday. Yeah, bring it. Send me a ticket. I'd love to come down. Let's see. I want to see what's in. Okay, James Lavicina. Thank you for being happy to hear I was okay. Yeah, no problem at all. Good safety equipment. I had a Simpson Hybrid S holding my helmet back. Good set of unplugged performance belts by Willens. We had the whole gig. Car's well built and well rebuilt now. Let's see if I could drive any car at Pikes Peak. What would it be? Well, I'm going to go for the electric Volkswagen prototype car that set the record at under 8 minutes just a couple years ago. Why not go for the full Monty? See if you can beat Romain Dumas. I used to race with Dumas when I was with Porsche way back when, and he's a Frenchman, and it's cool to see his interest in Pikes Peak. And he got to be part of that fantastic Volkswagen deal. They built a prototype, beat the record by almost a minute. Crazy. Okay.
I see Ryan gave you a sticker.
Okay, from a Barbara. How is driving and racing an electric car different from a fossil fuel car? I've seen some chats about this online. For me, it's really not different at all. It's kind of like racing a Lexus up the mountain, because a Lexus is very quiet and smooth, has a smooth shifting transmission. That's how the Tesla is. It is surprisingly powerful. If you've never driven one, go try one out. I remember the very first time I saw a Model S years ago. How long has that Model S been out? I bet it's 8 or 9 years. And I looked at the car, got in it, sat down. I was immediately impressed with the quality and the design. It was a real car. It wasn't weird. Electric cars always were weird. And when I raced the Tesla, it has really good torque. It is a little bit on the heavy side, 3,700 pounds as a race car, but the center of gravity is low. I remember the first time I saw a Tesla, I guess it was like a showroom or a sales office. It was in a mall, long time ago, and they had a chassis there. And the batteries are almost like the chassis. They are as low as the wheels. The chassis looks kind of like a Formula race car. So Teslas anyway, and I think most modern electric cars carry their batteries really low, and so that weight is low, so the center of gravity is low. So the car feels lighter and handles better than you would ever imagine. And the potential power and acceleration of electricity will blow your mind the first time you try it. Tesla owners love to take the uninitiated for a ride. Say, okay, you ready? I'm going to floor it. Oh yeah, sure, go ahead. Pins you to the seat, I'm telling you. Okay, well, it's Big Crunch. Hey, Big Crunch, I know you well. I met you 2 days ago. Anyway, is Pikes Peak one of the more dangerous events you have participated in? The most dangerous event I've ever participated in is riding a motorcycle on the public highways of the United States. But yeah, Pikes Peak is very dangerous. Mistakes or car problems can lead to tremendous crashes, and that's part of what we love about it. It's racing on the road, the way it was when automotive competition began way back in the dark ages, 5 or 80 years or more. It is the second oldest race in the United States, by the way, right after Indianapolis. Then Pikes Peak is now paved, and so the speeds are way up. And so when you crash, whatever you hit or go off of, you're going a lot faster when you do it. But there's a whole bunch of us that love to do it because we enjoy the challenge and the thrill. Let's see, thanks for doing this. You're welcome. John Gannon. You're a legend. Well, thanks, Motor Trend. What do you think of EVs in general and the Model 3 you were driving? Well, I talked about that a little bit already. EVs are still nascent. They're still beginning. They're still new in the marketplace. And I think still on a steep curve of improving, whereas gasoline-powered cars have been around 100 plus years, have been super well refined. And so we're going to see gasoline cars continue to get better, but be kind of similar. We're going to see electric cars and hybrid cars get better and better and better. I'm extremely impressed with the Tesla. I recently tested a car called a Genovation GXE, which is an 800 horsepower electric powered Corvette that was fantastic handling, powerful supercar. We were working on the handling setup a little bit. We advised on more spring rate and more damping, a lot of battery and a lot of motors in it. But I think electric cars are here to stay, and I think they drive just great. And the range, which is for me the Turbo S is a great name. Don't stick it on an electric car. That's for a turbocharged, probably 911. Talk about legend. Anyway, is the car equipped with Autopilot hardware? And if so, is FSD enabled? What's FSD? Yes, it has Autopilot. No, it's not enabled. Yes, maybe it would have kept me from hitting that wall 2 days ago. I don't know, cold tires, big bump, snap sideways, and I ran out of talent. I'm sorry, I don't know what FSD is. Andrew, I'm glad you're okay. Thanks, Andrew. Appreciate it. Jay Lopez, glad to see you're in good spirits. And you know what? It's great to have all you checking in so fast. I can't get to the questions. Timothy Wakowitz, thanks for being candid. Yeah, man. Have you had a chance to drive a Rimac? No, but they called me several years ago with a thick accent from Eastern Europe, and I frankly didn't take them real seriously because I had not heard of them. And they were talking about this supercar, and because I had no contact or recollection of it, maybe I didn't treat them with the kind of respect and response that they deserved. Now, I wish I had. And yes, I hope to get to try a Rimac. I get to try some cool stuff. I wish I had you as a teacher. Miata Money. Race team? Hey, look ahead, be smooth. Everything else will fall into place.
You see the bright green?
Timothy Walkway. Hey, go Moose. Yeah, go Moose. Where's the Happy Moose t-shirt? Nobody has one on? Ashley? Okay. Yeah, the Moose keeps improving too. And we've got a teammate in Montgomery, Alabama, named Sam, who's a big Volvo fan, and he's got that car. Ashley's going to do a little drive-by, model our Flying Moose t-shirt. Coming through, a little lower, a little lower. There it is. You got to square up, girl. You got to square up. The Flying Moose. Not that side, the other side.
Here you go.
Get out of the way. Okay. You're hard. Come when you can stay longer, please. The Flying Moose, we added wings to Dave Barton's Volvo design. What do we got, sir?
One, the big green one.
Okay.
Here, from Tesla Speed.
Oh, FSD is full self-driving. I believe the car has that capability. I have not tried it, but we did joke about letting the car run autopilot back down the mountain, see what would happen. Maybe we'll give that a shot on race day because we might just make it. Brother John, where's that green one you're talking about? I don't
Do
see
you
it.
think regen played a part in the crash? Reminds me of the liftoff oversteer we saw at Buttonwillow with track mode.
Oh, okay.
That's from Tesla Speed.
Tesla Speed asks if regen might have had something to do with me losing it. No, sir, not at all. I knew the bump was there. I was ready for it. I really wasn't braking anymore. When you know you're going to hit a bump, hit it straight and balanced. Not a lot of power, not a lot of brake. Just hit it straight and balanced. I hit it straight and balanced, and when the car bounced up out of the hole, there's a big bump. Bounced up out of the hole, it got sideways quick. And that's what the cold tire part is. Number one, wouldn't have got sideways if I'd had a little more tire heat, which I would have had if I'd been more careful on my first run. Number two, no, I love the regen. The only thing wrong with the regen is that occasionally I slow more than I want to because there's a lot of regen braking when you just lift off the throttle and before you even get to the brake pedal. And the regen changes a little bit. I just learned tonight from one of the Tesla engineers helping us on the Unplugged Performance rebuild that when the battery's fully charged, there is no regen. You know why? because you can't regen a battery that's fully charged. So I'm going to have to compensate in my driving. We're going to start on race day, if we get lucky. And in the first few corners, I'll have to just drive it like a normal car, which is what I normally do. I don't find the Tesla 3 to be really very different from any other car I drive. It's quiet, it's smooth, and it has a lot of torque. All three of those things are good things. I enjoy the sound of the engine and shifting gears and everything, but I don't find it to be important to my driving. The crash was just my fault. I ran out of talent. Stupid driving too fast on cold tires.
How does this is from DSM02C.
Okay.
How does the 3 you're driving handle? Is it neutral or does it understeer?
Okay, now my 3 is modified by Unplugged Performance for racing, but it's not that different. What we've done is pretty much stiffen it up so it has quicker responses, less body roll, a radical racing alignment. We're running only a rear anti-sway bar. The car is beautifully neutral. When we qualified, it's one of the best handling cars I've ever driven. I drove so hard on this narrow winding mountain road with no fear, just going. But we had a set of Michelin slicks on there that we had pre-warmed, and they were working, they were stuck. I like the low center of gravity. The Teslas have very quick steering response. All of them, the 3s do. And our Unplugged Performance race car also does. Again, it's one gear, and it's best right off the line. Down a long straightaway, it keeps pulling, but I don't get that sense of urge that I do from a powerful gasoline engine. I think because as the revs build, it's like the power is actually getting a little weaker rather than a lot of gas engines, which gets more powerful as the revs increase. But I really love the torque, especially on Pikes Peak with the tight hairpins. Four-wheel drive in the Model 3 dual motor performance and that low-end torque from an electric motor make the car a beast out of these switchback hairpins. Pikes Peak, it's just a total, it's 20, 25 miles an hour. And the Tesla's really good at that.
So Randy, we've got a couple of questions about the Moose t-shirts. Let's let them know they're a limited run. We've got a few extra larges left. So they can email us at the email in the description of all the videos. There's only a few left. So we'll get some more merch as soon as we can.
Yeah, we're working on the Happy Moose t-shirts. And do we have an email, John?
Yes, it's randypobstproductions@gmail.com.
And you can write us about that at randypobstproductions@gmail.com. Pobst is P-O-B as in boy, S-T. But you know that. Okay. Oh, nice. I didn't miss this. Hey, great. Welcome, Jennings. Glad to have you. What's my daily driver from Jones Tech? I bought with my own money a Camaro 1LE 4-cylinder turbo. Lightweight. All 1LEs have amazing handling and braking and a ride that is firm but comfortable enough for a guy that likes a sporty car. And I think the Camaro looked super cool, and I got the one in brilliant blue. That's my daily driver. I got a Toyota Tundra pickup truck that I tow with, and I got 5 race car projects, and I have a killer Volvo wagon.
Eddie just messaged you on here from the car.
Yeah, what?
And he said the car is almost dialed in.
Wow. Eddie Castellan, your Unplugged Performance Chief Tech, says it looks done, and we're going to take it out tomorrow morning to check it out. I can't believe I'm even saying this. After whacking that wall and putting it in the ditch, we did come up with some great pictures. But, oh, Lord, it's painful. If you've seen my videos, you've heard me cry, and I'm not going to go too much down that road. Now I'm singing. I'm happy because Ben Schaefer bought another Tesla 3, and parked it next to the race car and has been swapping every part necessary to get the race car in the race on Saturday. A second chance, a comeback. We've got another opportunity to get up there and do it right. Let's see here. Douglas Davis, do you like the road paved or the old dirt road? Douglas, I like the old dirt road better. It was my chance to play rally driver. I ran in 95 in a BMW M5 race car that was super cool and a 6-cylinder engine that wailed. That had a beautiful exhaust note. And the pavement, though, I still love. It's just, it's so fast. It's more thrilling on the pavement because the speeds are up. And because, well, we have the advantage of consistent traction. On the dirt, you never really knew. They used to get I think they called it a blue line or the blue lane, where in the middle of the road, it'd be almost like pavement, but on the edges, the further out you went, the dirtier it got. And every corner was different. Now we have consistent pavement. The grip is actually pretty good. The further up you go on the mountain, the dirtier it is. And in the top section, it's so tricky, it's really rough. The bumps are unbelievable. You'll see when we publish our videos, the way the cars pound around is amazing. Hey, thanks everybody for coming out. This is great. This is great. Tesla Speed, I hope you do another VinWiki video on this story. I think it'll make a good story. It's not over yet. We'll see how it goes. If it's too much of a tragedy, I don't know if I can. I don't know about crying on VinWiki. Is that a good idea? Crying real tears? The thing is, once the race starts, and I take off full speed in that Tesla, I'm mostly going to be thinking about going fast. That's just how I'm built, aren't you? Let's see. Buddy Craig, good to hear you may get to run that Tesla up the hill. Yeah, buddy. John Gannon, shout out to Unplugged. Superheroes over there. I agree, especially Ben. Man, he said, you know what, Randy, we're going to do whatever it takes to get that car in the race, and we're going to do whatever you ask for, too. I really like that about him. Okay, let's see. Janix, great pictures, don't set records. 944, right to the point. The Blue Groove, that's what they used to call it. The middle of the road in the old days of running on dirt. Dirt's cool. Daniel Bentley, always great seeing your enthusiasm, especially someone who's been doing motorsport as long as you. I have. I still love it as much as ever. I remember it started with my very first Autocross fun run in should I admit this?
Yep.
77. I had a Datsun 510 two-door, sweet car, 1972, check it out. And man, it's like a beast grabbed me by the neck and said, you must race. And I love it ever since. It's my drug, people. It's my drug. It's probably yours too if you're watching this channel. You know that feeling of loving cars and loving going around a corner fast. Hanging it on the edge. William Ma, favorite car you've raced thus far? One of my very favorites is the Porsche 911 RSR from the late 90s. This is the 993 generation. It's a real Porsche. It was lightweight. They had an incredible rear suspension to control all that load and power going through the back wheels with a rear engine. The handling actually got worse with the 996. And it was a long time until they caught up to where I thought or think that a good 993 is. A long time, like maybe the GT2 RS of this year, 2020. That's a favorite. Other cars I love to race, Honda Civic Si, way back on the other end of my career, 1989. Won a couple of 24-hour races at Watkins Glen with my great pal Peter Schwartzot and my first team, TC Klein. TC, thanks for getting my career started.
I've got 2 questions.
Okay, let's see, what do we got? When you
got
race the Cybertruck or 2020 Roadster, heck yeah! You know what, Unplugged will be all over those vehicles, especially the Roadster. I cannot wait to see what that car is all about. Tesla, Elon Musk is kind of mysterious and creative and brilliant and genius and mad. He's like a mad genius. And I think his girlfriend's really cool too. I went and looked up Grimes and some Grimes music. I saw Oblivion from like 2011 or 12. She's like a 17-year-old rap artist, not rap, what, techno? I don't know. She was very cool, and I love the music, man. It was entrancing. It played in my head for 2 full days. Just F says, just passed my DMV driver's test and got my license today. You especially, be smooth and look ahead. And don't expect those people to know you're there, because usually they don't know you're there. Drive defensively, all that stuff. I hope you get, are you going to have a driver's school? Do they even do that anymore? Is there driver's ed? I don't know. Do it. Okay, congratulations. That's exciting. What are you driving, F? Jump back in there. Let us know what you're driving. William Ma, thank you. You're welcome. Was hoping it'd be the RX-8. The RX-8 is basically a Miata underneath. Did you know that, people? I know Mr. Ma does. And the RX-8 is a Miata with another 10 or 12 inches of wheelbase. What a great combination. But I always felt Mazda got those cars all wrong. The RX should have been in the Miata, a rotary powered Miata, the RX-5 Miata. And then the RX-8 could have had a 4-liter V8. What a bad to the bone car that would have been. Then they could have had a lower model with a 3-liter V6. That would have all worked out a lot better, I think. The RX-8's a great handling car, great chassis. Joan Tech says, how do you guys charge at the hill? Well, let me think about how to answer that. You got to run hard because you're going steeply uphill. So you have to compensate knowing that you can brake later than you ever might imagine, but that the road is dirty, race cars aren't going around and around cleaning it up, and that the road is changing constantly, and that it's cold, and you've got to get some temperature in your tire. And that was part of my problem on Wednesday when I crashed that beautiful car. Drive a 2018 to B Atlas. B Atlas. F's driving a 2018 B Atlas. What's a B Atlas? Little typo, F, but thanks for trying. Okay.
Volkswagen.
Hey, see friends talking to each other. Oh, VW Atlas maybe. Yeah, okay, nice SUV. Good, you got a great view of the road. Don't drive it like it's a race car, it's not one. Okay, gotcha, F. That's a nice car. Good luck with that. Am I going to AER Summit Point? No, I would love to. The AER Endurance Race Series at Summit Point. But I will be with Lucky Dog Racing Series at the Ridge out near Seattle. And I love running with Kathy Fuss and her group. And even better, when you people let me try your car, it makes my day. I already got an offer to drive with the Wankler team, which is a cool combination of Wankel and Wanker. Creative. It's a Mazda RX-7 convertible. They swear it's a lot better running than it was the first time I drove it. I don't care. I'll drive anything as long as it looks semi-safe. Okay, yellow tofu. This sounds like my kind of, food person. Can we have one single driving tip? I know there are many, but one on the top of your mind right away. I hate to be redundant, but where you look is where you go. And especially when you're going too fast and you get scared, keep looking into the corner because you go where you look. And if you get scared and you look out at that wall, that's where you're going to go, or that's where you're more likely to go. So be brave, be courageous, look into the corner where you want to be because you go where you look. Thank you for asking. Yellow tofu. Timothy ER. You guys just tow it to regen? Is that possible? No, man, we use a supercharger, we use a generator, we use the hookup to the dryer at the Airbnb house right below the Pikes Peak Highway entrance. You know, you can get your electricity in a lot of places, but the best place is the supercharger because you can get it quick. And it used to be free. Is it free anymore? You guys would know. And when's my next Lemons race? We might run Road Atlanta, 24 hours of lemons, because I live right there and it's in December and sometimes it snows. We could get the flying moose out for that one. We'll see. Tip, slow is smooth and smooth is fast. When you want to go fast, slow with your inputs. Smooth is fast because tires don't like shocks. When you enter a corner, you've got to load it smoothly, quickly, but smoothly. Shocks and being jerky and being rough break a tire loose, and they take the tire over the limit of its grip. And if you go over the limit, you go slow. If you go under the limit, you go slow. The object is to be on the limit all the time. And smooth is how you do that. You blend your braking into your cornering, blend your cornering into your acceleration. Oscar Jackson. Hey, Oscar, junior or senior? Oscar, let's go, Randy and team. Thanks, Oscar. Oscar, this must be junior. He helped set up the Tesla that I'm now driving. Good job. It handles great right up until you lose it on cold tires like an idiot. Thanks, Oscar. And let's see, Donnie X6. So no Tesla Autopilot on the way out video. We could do that after the hill climb's over.
Yeah. Let's see if we can get some likes.
Because I'm not sure the Autopilot would go flat out. But I've been told that it will go fast. You as the owners, the speed you choose. But I'm really interested in trying the Autopilot. I'm going to keep an eye on it. But not in the hill climb, because I want to drive. That's why I'm here. Okay, Humonga Hockey. I don't think we're going to bring that one up, but electricity rocks. I agree with you there. Electricity is great off the line, too. Not free anymore, and you can tow to charge it. Oh, you can tow? Okay, thanks. Video awesome. Superchargers are no longer free because Teslas are getting to be really popular for a good reason. And you can tow to charge a car. Boy, that would be, if you're desperate, that could get you home if you get a friendly guy. Okay, AG. With the road at Pikes Peak being rough or having buckles in it, would it help to have longer travel suspension so the bumps don't upset the car as much? Yes. We actually raised the car for that for that very purpose, and unplugged shock absorbers, we run their coilovers. They have long bump rubbers. And the purpose of the bump rubbers is on the really big bumps to soften the ultimate impact if you really hit it hard. And we're going to be on those bump stops, several places going up that mountain, including going into Cog Cut. I know that's really rough. And Boulder Park, really rough. I got in trouble in the middle of bottomless pit. And like I say, I blame it on me going too fast. It was my very first run, 8 o'clock in the morning at 12,000 feet. Come on. But everything felt so great the day before. And, oh well, we'll get it right next time. Sunday, come on, team, let's make it happen. We're almost there. All night hero rescue. I think we're going to make it. Frederick Truslow. Frederick says, if you get vertigo or motion sickness, you probably can't drive anything fast, so electric motors should not matter. He's answering somebody else's comment. And yeah, I don't think an electric motor will help you much with motion sickness, except for the smoothness. But a lot of times the motion sickness comes from lateral G's, and the Tesla generates lots of lateral G's. The Tesla handles great stock. It's even better in track mode, and it's even better as an unplugged performance race car. Okay, what do you think about the 935 Porsche? The OS is running this year. Would that be, I think the 935 is super cool because it's based on GT2 RS, one of my all-time favorite cars to drive. And it has retro styling, like the 935s that were racing when I first started going to IMSA races in the early 80s. Love it. Torque, sleek body style. The thing's bad to the bone. Love it. How does car safety tech compare from when you started to now? It's incredible how much safer cars are. And if you're talking about street cars and or race cars, far, far better. And what's funny is the speed limits are the same. When I first started driving in the 70s, up until somebody decided 55 miles an hour was a good idea for a national maximum speed limit. Young folks, be glad you missed that era. It was horrible. But cars couldn't stop like they do now. They didn't have anti-lock brakes. And the greatest advance ever in highway safety, stability control. Stability control is incredibly good at helping keep a car from going out of control. Now, if you're just plain going way too fast for a corner, it's not going to help you, but at least you'll go off fairly straight. But stability control is a wonderful advancement, totally electronic. I hate it when I'm racing because I want to be the one to drive the car. That's why I'm there. But on the street, I usually leave it on. It also keeps me from being too much of a hooligan and getting in trouble for drifting a corner. You know what? Thanks for all the questions, too. This is a great response. I'm just catching what I can as we go along here, and the good wishes, too. Chris Wilhelm, hey, didn't I blow up your MR2? No, it blew itself up. Chris, what are you doing? Wishing you good luck. And from all my friends at the Lucky Dog Racing League, thanks, Chris. Great group. We just raced in Charlotte, had the Flying Moose there. See the video on this channel right here. Oh, wait, we can't do that right now, John.
No, but they can still check it out.
Shout out to John and Ryan and Ashley for helping make all these videos happen. Couldn't do it without them, especially John O for being the one who made it happen. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
We're having a great time. I hope you're having a good time following along. Let's see, Sean Conway, how does it compare versus without O2? Do you mean electric car versus a gasping gasoline car? The electric car loses no power at altitude. So it's everybody a bit as good on the bottom as it is at the top.
Your oxygen.
Oh, oh, you mean me driving? I'm getting a little help from my friends. But the oxygen is amazing. The oxygen for me, I wear a cannula and it shoots a little oxygen into my nose every couple of seconds. And it just makes me smarter, better, brighter, more aware. It makes me remember what turn is coming next. And I really am, this is my 6th time on the mountain. And I don't want to talk too soon, but I know the road better than I ever have. I'm working now on apexes and line, and not just on what corner is next. It's 156 corners in 12 and a half miles. And also, I've studied it hard driving the Pikes Peak Highway at 25 miles an hour. Totally different animal when you're going 85 in your race car. Comes at you so quick. It's tough. A big part of the challenge is just learning the road. Let's see, Rubber Band Man, I like that. Best weekend sports car under 25,000. Wow, can you still get a Miata under 25,000? You can't get much of anything under 25,000 new. So used money, Corvette, lots of fun, not great handling, but you can make it handle better with the right set of shocks, like my buddy's DSC Sport controller. And the torque is really fun. There's so many I love. The BRZ is a great handling car. The Miata, if you're a sports car type guy, you like the lightweight and the agility more than the power. If you like pony cars, Mustang GT is a fantastic start. If you get serious about being competitive, You'll need to improve the suspension because they're never quite right, except for the Shelby GT350R. And any Camaro 1LE is a fantastic handling car. I like the Hyundai Veloster N. The Veloster N is a huge success. It's a great deal. It's inexpensive. If you want to spend a little more money, the Honda Civic Type R is a really wonderful street car, refined and comfortable, front-wheel drive, easy to go fast in, will not give you any trouble. The Honda Civic Type R does not bite. It's a very good dance partner when you're driving it, excuse me. Okay, let's see here. How am I liking my Camaro 1LE from Chris Burrow? Love it. I really love it. The 2-liter turbo has a ton of bottom end. There's only one thing I really dislike, and if you watch our channel, the Randy Pobst channel, you may have seen me did to set up the E-throttle, which all modern cars have, and so does my 2019 Camaro, to get it to let off the throttle when I do. I want to make for quicker shifts, so when, especially first to second, to rev it out, lift, pull to second. All 1LEs, by the way, are manual transmissions. Also, which I bought the car to enjoy driving, and I really enjoy manual transmissions. And anyway, you need the revs to drop quickly for the next gear. Otherwise, you're waiting on your synchro. And the Camaro, the revs hang. You rev it up, brum, this is a tack. They stay up there and they just don't come down. So when I go to second, the revs are too high and it jerks the engine down. And so it's tricky to be smooth and it's hard on the gearbox. And we're going to report on Pedal Commander very soon because we have the latest iteration and the latest generation. And I'm real curious to see if they've been able to do what I want.
I have one thing I want to bring up while we've got everybody
yes,
about memberships.
John.
We've got memberships that we're thinking about starting, and what are some things that they'd like to see if they became a member of the channel?
For subjects?
Yeah, like what perks would they like as members of the channel if we start a membership?
My man John says we're going to start doing memberships, and one of the great things about that is that we are more in direct communication, and we're interested in what perks you'd like to see for members. What kinds of things is a good idea? Like maybe Flying Moose t-shirts, because I promised Dave Barton I wouldn't sell them, and we're working on that. Because he's a great guy, and he's a big Volvo man. Dave's Volvo site. Oh gosh, can you get me Dave's turbo242.com? I need to give him a shout out for his website. Just Google Dave Barton Volvo, and you'll see a great website, especially for vintage Volvo parts. You know I'm a big fan. I've always loved Volvos like the 240 and the 140 and the P1800 and my 740, but I have a special affection for Volvo because I drove for the Volvo factory for 7 years with K-Pax, and I really appreciated many great years in a wild S60 turbo all-wheel drive race car in the World Challenge GT Series. We won a lot of races, 3 championships, and so Volvo's special to me, and I love my Flying Moose. It's square, but it's fun to drive, and it's not as heavy as it looks. That thing is barely 2,600 pounds, even with some fuel in it. Okay, let's see.
Dave's Volvo page, 240turbo.com. 240turbo.
Okay, Dave Barton's page is 240turbo.com for Volvo parts and the original Prancing Moose t-shirt, sweatshirts, all this kind of gear. I like Dave. And let's see, I got a good one here. What is my Tesla 0 to 60? Quick. You know what? I don't know. But I think it has the same power as it's a regular stock Tesla 3 drivetrain performance. And I'm pretty sure 0 to 60 is down around 3 seconds in that car. It's really quick off the line. Really quick. Look it up in Motor Trend. It'll be the same. Although we're lighter. So we got a little quicker. Let's see. Swags for signature. John O, swag for signature on the memberships, I mean.
Swag for signature.
Swag with signature,
With signature?
for members.
All right.
Yeah, we could do that. I love signing things. Let's see. Palmer Monson asks, what do I think about Vipers? I like the first Viper the best because the styling was kind of wild. It's a nutty car. They never handled well. They were always a challenging, powerful car to drive. If you want a car that is demanding, the Viper is a good car for you. What's amazing though is the very last Viper, the ACRX. They fixed everything. It is a beautiful, it's a puppy dog, a beautiful handling car that puts power down, and it is a joy and a reputation in the industry as somebody who likes understeer. No, I don't like understeer. I like stability. I believe a car that handles well goes around a corner pretty much on rails. I don't want to have to constantly be catching the car. That's a car that oversteers too much. That actually can be fun, but not when you're trying to turn a good lap time and trying to win a race. I like a car you drive with slow hands, smooth. And then if something goes wrong, you got to be able to quickly catch it with lightning fast, correct, recover. You catch it and then straighten out. Anytime you get in a slide and you're losing a car, you correct, you steer and catch that slide. If you catch it, straighten it back out right then. And I'm talking about as fast as you can turn the wheel. That's skid pad training. I think I need to start my own business of skid pad training because it's so good to learn how to control slides. And then anybody who gets good at controlling a slide can go into the next great thing, drifting. I think drifting is cool. I think it's fun. And I've got a cheapo BMW drift car in my driveway. And if my friend Morgan lets me take it out, maybe I'll run it at Jayzilla Drift Day or something over at Lanier Speedway in Atlanta, near where I live. See you there. Do I like the WRX STI? Yeah, how could you not? It understeers too much. That's one thing I don't like about it. If I was Subaru, I ask you, put the option of more power to the rear in a WRX, especially in the STI. Guess what? A Tesla track mode V2 allows the driver to adjust how much power distribution he has between the front and the rear. And I know Subarus have that little knob to plus and minus, and to me, it doesn't do much. I want to feel it. And a front engine car like the Subaru WRX needs a lot of power going to the back to be well balanced. When I raced an Audi and a Volvo, all-wheel drive cars, they both liked having 65 to 70% power to the rear. On the Tesla, here at Pikes Peak, I'm running 50-50, people, but we have a trick setup because we're trying to keep the inside front wheel down. The car has a tendency to want to spin the inside front wheel a little bit, and when it does that, traction control kicks in and slows it down a little bit. So we have this weird setup where we're running a lot of rear anti-sway bar, but 50-50 on the power distribution to try to make the car accelerate better off a corner. And so far, it's working. Because in the Tesla, even the track mode, you can adjust your level of stability control, which is a great feature, but you can only go down to a little bit. And I think it's traction control. That's what it feels like to me, more than stability. In fact, I could have used some stability control on my first run 2 days ago. Anyway, I most prefer in every car on track to turn it off completely because I want to drive it. I'm the stability control, and most of the time I'm pretty good at it. I'm still human though. All right, how's the car coming along? When I left the shop 2 or 3 hours ago, they were getting ready to put the bumpers on it, which is the last thing you do. It looks like it's going to be okay, but we have to test it, make sure all the systems are happy and they're working. It's incredible how easy it is to change a whole drive system on the Tesla, though. It's a subframe with the drive attached to it, and you take the whole suspension and brakes and everything, whoop, unplug a couple of electrical wires, undo the brake lines, and the whole thing is out. We changed them front and rear because we had to, because I wrecked them. Let's see, how about members of my channel would get a discount to my skid pad school, which doesn't exist yet. But I'd love to do it because anytime I work with a driver, I really want to go to the skid pad and work on fundamentals. You got to learn about where to look, learn about weight distribution, learn about getting on the brakes if you lose control. There's all these things, training your eyes on the skid pad to look in.
Let's get you to 1 million subscribers and we'll buy a skid pad school for you. 1 million
Here
subscribers.
we go. If we get to 1 million subscribers, we will buy and open a skid pad school. I'm telling you.
Yes.
It'll probably be in Atlanta, because that's where I live right now, but that needs to happen. And I will not teach every skid pad school, but I will teach every skid pad instructor and make sure they're doing the right things and that they treat you with respect and make you safer on the street. We should be teaching it to every driver. Can I get on a little soapbox here? Yes, the COVID virus is terrible. Yes, horrible things happen to people in many other ways. One of them is driving accidents. If we did better driver training, yes, it costs money, but nothing compared to trillions of dollars for a virus. If we train people to drive better, one thing I would love to do is see just simple public service ads that give little driving tips that can make the world a better place. Here's one of my favorites. Keep right. Slower traffic, keep right. This is an inexpensive way, hey, it's free, to add a full lane of traffic to our interstate highways all over the country. Slower traffic, keep right. I don't care if the speed limit's 70 and you're doing 75. Get out of the way. Let people go by if they want to go faster. Traffic moves smoother. Traffic moves safer. You are safer. If anybody ever passes you on the right, that means you're in the wrong place. You should be on the right. I know you don't want to fool with the on-ramps. On-ramps are a pain, right? Cars come up, you got to let them in. Another way to make this whole system work better is corollary number 2, or the corollary to this rule, keep right, slower traffic, keep right. The corollary is, on an on-ramp, accelerate to highway speed. Don't dawdle. Get your foot down and get up so that when you get there, you're going about the same speed as the guys on the road, and you can fall right into traffic smoothly and efficiently. Slower traffic, please keep right. And Parker Brooks wants me for president. Don't want the job. I don't know, if I was president, I don't think you'd like me. Okay, I wouldn't even know what to do, tell you the truth. Isn't it funny how we don't even know what's really, it's so hard to tell what's true. That's true, and I'm in the middle going, maybe a little of that, maybe a little of that, but let's not get too crazy here.
Someone's asking the weight of your car versus other race cars.
Oh, okay. You know what's funny is people in the know realize that electric cars are relatively heavy because they have big batteries. And the Tesla Model 3 that I'm racing with unplugged is a race car. It's been stripped down. There's no extra interior. There's no extra anything that we don't need for the race. It has lightweight Lexan windows. It's about 3,700 pounds with the roll cage and with no driver and no fuel. A Hellcat wide body that was a super fun, super powerful car, 4,600 pounds. A year before that, I ran with my great friend Rob Brooks with Pikes Peak Motorsports and Pikes Peak Harley Davidson right here in Colorado Springs. Rob put me in a Mustang Trans Am 2 car, which weighed barely 2,500 pounds. And normally aspirated V8 was really struggling at altitude, didn't have much power, and we did not have the right tire. It was too hard, and we got really a bad break when the weather got cold on race day. Last thing we needed a good warm race day, and then our tires would have worked, and we could have gone a lot quicker than I ran. I was right at about 10 minutes, and I think that car could have been around 940, 935 with the right sticky set of tires. We gave it our best shot, didn't quite work out, but it's always fun trying and giving it, going for it. Let's see.
Does Unplugged use any custom software updates?
Unplugged does not use custom software. We're running standard Tesla. Anything else? Relationship with Tesla? I'm driving for Unplugged Performance. Ben Schaefer and his team. Craig, shout out. Ryan, Taylor, Eddie, and all the guys at Eurocars who opened their shop all night, 24 hours working on that car. Brian, Christian, thank you so much. Joe Brenner, who called me and said, hey, get back together. Things are looking good, man. I'm not going to say we're going to get there, but it's looking like we are. Thank you, guys. Love you.
Sophion's saying that you're on older software.
Oh, we're on older software, according to my friend Soph, who's on the inside with Tesla, and he helped hook me up with Ben for Pikes Peak because I appeared on his podcast, Third Row, which is about Tesla, and the Tesla community has been so supportive. I mean, this is a tribe. It's kind of a special car. Drive one. I know whenever I hear somebody say something sour and negative about Teslas or about electric cars, I know they have not driven a Model S or a Model 3 or now a Y or an X. They're amazing. They just really work. You'll like it. Powerful and smooth and quiet.
So here's an interesting one. How do we
what do you got, John?
How do we best encourage tracks to install Tesla superchargers? It seems like a perfect match. You got any ideas for that one?
Well, I think the best way, racetracks are always looking for ways to make money. It's a difficult business to keep alive. So if everybody with a Tesla starts going to the track and wanting to drive there, superchargers will soon be installed. I guarantee it. And right now, Unplugged Performance does Tesla track days. They call it Tesla Corsa. I've been to a couple of them. They're a lot of fun. How long does the electric car run on the racetrack? Good question. I know you're thinking it. Answer, not very long. At full throttle, you use a lot of power. A Tesla will go 300 miles cruising. It goes about 10 or 15 minutes running fast on a racetrack. So what do? We run 15-minute sessions, and Ben always arranges track days near superchargers, like at Buttonwillow in the Central Valley of California, San Joaquin Valley. Let's see, Adam Harding. So awesome, the car is looking good, thank you. Looking at the footage, it looked like the car lost grip ever so slightly, but by the time the correction was made, the car had grip again and hooked to the left. That's my lack of driving talent, and I would call the quick rotation the result of the cold tires. Those Michelin slicks would never have let go that quick if they were sticky. And I just got behind the car. The rotation was so fast. I corrected fast as I could, but by the time I took it out, it was too much, and we did a hook slide. One of those things that you're going to learn not to do on a skid pad. Maybe I should get that skid pad going and practice on. But if you correct and you don't recover quick enough, the car shoots off in the direction of the correction. Some people call it overcorrection, but what it really is under recovery. When you're catching a slide that's too big, you've got to steer quickly. When you're going fast, steer slow. I like a slow hands car, a stable car. Let's see, what battery percent do you start and finish at Pikes Peak? We're aiming to start at 100. Well, from practice, the battery actually held up a lot better than I thought it would because the practice runs were on the lower section and they were about 4.5 minutes. We turned a fantastic time. The car handled great, ran great, stopped great. But I'm going to give you a wild guess that by the time we get to the top, we may be down to 60% on the battery, which means it'll still be going good, but it's not going to be as quick as it was in the first half of the run up the mountain. Can we have poster-sized files for the photos of the Tesla in the air? Great! Only if you post one next to it of the Tesla crossing the finish line on Sunday morning, okay? But let's see, I guess you'd have to ask Unplugged Performance about that. The photographer was a pro guy, and he took some beautiful shots. And hey, it's okay to tease me. I earned it. I wrecked the car. I feel terrible about it. Let's see.
Have your runs gotten the attention of Elon or Tesla yet? The record at Laguna Seca made quite a bit of news.
Yeah, we set an electric vehicle record at Laguna Seca first lap. It was easy peasy. Off we went. And yes, we have. In fact, we have had help from the executive chain all the way up at Tesla to help us get this car together, find out what's wrong with it, fix it, make it safe again. Tesla actually sent down 3 guys from the service center up in Denver to back up our man Brian and Christian here at Eurocars in Colorado Springs. We've had a tremendous amount of support and attaboys, and you can do it. Get that car back on the road. And you know what? This crash had nothing to do with this car being electric. That's something I want to make clear. Unfortunately, on day one, Josh wrecked his Tesla Model 3, but his wreck was due to not knowing the road. He wrecked at Engineers and went straight into the trees because he was running too fast for the corner. He didn't realize the right one was coming up. And I can't pick on him because I did the exact same thing in 2015 in another corner called the Sump. I should have known better. And I find oxygen helps. No, for me, driving an electric car is very much like driving a gas car. It doesn't present any special challenges. You just go. You roll the power in when you get out on the straights. You go quickly to the brake in the brake zones. So yeah, you know, I am a huge fan of Elon Musk. I really like, I mean, from a distance, I don't know him, I haven't met him, I hope I get to sometime, but I see the creativity and the good humor and the positivity and the results of what he's been able to create, and his bravery and investments like the investments he made in SpaceX and the risk he took. And it reminds me of some other successful entrepreneurs who laid it all on the line to get out there and make their business work. Like me today, I bought John O a new camera case.
Yes, thank you,
All right.
sir.
Do I still find autocross exciting at all? Good question from Gary T. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Well, I grew up autocrossing. That's where I learned car control. That's where I learned a slow brake release when I'm entering a corner. That's where I learned looking and thinking ahead. Autocross is rewarding in its intensity, not in the length of the thrill, but in the degree of the thrill. It's something the road racers are usually bad at. If they don't start an autocross, they try it, they're too slow. And it's funny because autocross, it's a race you do in a parking lot against the clock, and you're running through traffic cones, kind of like slalom skiing with your car. And it's very demanding, it's very precise, it's really exciting. The cars it's safe. You're going between 20 and 60 miles an hour typically. And on a road course, you're risking your car. If you go out and drive on a road course, go for it, have a ball. But you're risking your car way more than you are in an autocross when you just want to roar between the cones. Also in autocross, you get to learn what's fast right away. You do a run, you see if your time got better or worse, and you know, gosh, when I was sliding, that must have cost me a lot of time. One of the things I learned in autocross is to stay hooked up. Don't slide too much. That's one of the things I like about dirt, is that on dirt, you go faster by sliding. So there's another great sport called rallycross, which is a slower, smaller slalom ski course on dirt in your car. A lot of fun. I've done it a couple of times. The Miata is amazingly good at it. It's not all-wheel drive, but it's lightweight and it turns so quickly on those tight turns on dirt. Love that.
Here's an interesting
see.
one. Will you be getting a Neuralink, Elon's new brain thing?
Yeah, I could use one. I've always been absent-minded. Maybe it could help me. I don't know. That again, more Elon Musk creativity and something that could really, really help people. Somebody asked if a Tesla would make a good autocross car. Perfect. In fact, the Tesla is so good at autocross, it's already won national championships, and it's been bumped all the way up to the top class to run against the best sports cars there are. That's how good it is. Incredible performance in autocross with a Tesla Model 3 performance. Let's see.
You got it.
Colin Wong, I hope you're doing well. Thanks, Colin. I'm doing great. Just heartbroken. I don't like wrecking cars, but I'm getting a second chance. Yes, John?
You got Asimo.
Oh, okay. Asimo 3089. Hey, thanks, man. Been watching you for years. Thank you. I love everything you do. Good. That's my kind of guy. Or person. My kind of person. Thanks for all the entertainment over the years for Motor Trend and what you do today. I'm so lucky to get to do it. I really am. And I appreciate you watching. And I try to be straightforward about what the cars are doing, like I am in my career as a race car driver, because the only way to make something better or make it faster and win a race is to find what's wrong and figure out how to make that better. And I also have just loved cars ever since I was born. I mean, my mama used to say I was born with a toy car. I have a lot of them. I don't get to ride them very much. Mostly older Japanese ones. They're like my art collection. When I go out into the garage, I just like walking by them. They're beautiful machines. Stock Miata doesn't even need a lift for off-road, Janix. You're right. Have you ever seen those stock Miatas set up for off-road? They cut out the fender wells and put some monster motors on them, and then they go out and have a good time with them. Miata, the universal motorsports answer. Now you can stream music straight to your brain while driving. Is that what the neuro chip will do for me? I don't know. I don't want anything going on when I'm driving. I've tried music, racing. When I'm driving, man, I love it. I'll put Grimes on there, Oblivion. Great late night, all night drive music. Let's see, Tesla Roadster. I can't wait to see it, drive it, run it at Pikes Peak next year. We'll see. Favorite Motor Trend video? Oh, that's hard. But I'm going to say it this way. I always had a great time doing head-to-head with Johnny Lieberman and Jason Camissa. Camissa is now working for Haggerty, and he's so creative and funny and insightful. And then Johnny Lieberman, though I'm embarrassed by how witty he is. I'm like, Johnny, I wish I had said that. Johnny Lieberman over at Motor Trend he's been such a good friend, just solid, man. He's not afraid to offend you with his honesty and his opinions. And his thoughts and his opinions mean something. And working with those two guys was a real high point in my career. And I still get to see Johnny at Motor Trend at special projects. And next week, one of the most fun times I had was when I got to guest star on Roadkill. Back when Finnegan was doing that with Freiberger, and we raced Jaguars. It was crazy. And guess what? Next week, I get to be with Mike Finnegan on his new show, Faster with Finn. We're going to shoot down in Atlanta, where he's working on a Chevrolet S10 that gets more and more trick to try to beat his times, and the ultimate goal, aiming for a Shelby Mustang. I don't know if he can do that, but if anybody can do it, Finnegan can.
Let's give a shout out to William Ma.
Oh yeah, William Ma, thank you for all your comments and for joining in and for the good wishes. Fantastic. Somebody says, what do I think of the Cybertruck? I think it's cool. I like creativity. It's strange, it's weird, and they're really gonna sell this thing? I can't wait. I want to drive one real bad, see what it's like. It's interesting getting to know some of the Tesla people through Unplugged Performance a lot better. Find out more about like the modular way they're building the cars to make it easier to service and less expensive to repair. Just fantastic stuff. Okay, who's my Pink Panther person? Asham. Hey, woohoo! Thumbs up. Oh, that's funny. Thanks for modeling the t-shirt, Ashley. You're all right. Okay, do I use oxygen going up the peak? Yes, especially ever since my first crash where I just thought I was in the next corner up. This crash, I knew everything. I was all over it. I was just going too fast on the first run on cold tires. And let's see, Tesla Battery Day is right around the corner. They're about to announce some more energy-dense batteries. Yes. Maybe they can shave some weight off your Model 3. Well, if they can do it tomorrow, it's going to be a big help. Right now, the main thing is just to get that darn car back on the mountain. Got a second chance. I can't wait. Got a second chance. We're probably going to run a set of Hoosiers. We don't have a tire sponsor, so we've been able to pick just about any tire we want. And in our shopping beforehand, Hoosier has a new model R35B, as I recall. No, that's not a Nissan GTR. It does sound like one. It's a Hoosier race tire, very soft compound, does not need warm up. And the Hoosier guys are confident that it will be able to hold up to the grip and the loads of a Tesla 3 at race speeds up the Pikes Peak hill climb. I'm so glad to be here running this hill. It's beautiful, it's fast, it's fun, it's crazy. I think it will be a collector's car, okay. Cybertruck on order, glitch core, yeah, probably. It's nuts, it's really cool. Let's see, will I ever do any more Motor Trend head-to-head? We will see. My dream is to do it with Johnny Lieberman, he and I. I think we'd make a great pair. Right now, head-to-head is not on, but it could come back. And if it does, man, I'd love to be part of it. But even if I'm not, I'd love to see it. And anytime working with Johnny Lieberman is a pleasure. Like I say, witty, knowledgeable, surprising, funny. In fact, look up the show we do with, Jeff Glucker. What's the Motor Trend show? I was on it. Oh, goody. It's like a challenge talk show. And Johnny on that show, he was fantastic. And I was on it with Bassem Wassef and Tavarish, the YouTube guy. We had a great time. John, what was the name of that show that I did on Motor Trend?
You're going to put me on the spot now.
I know. I'm on the spot. I just did it. It's on
drawing a blank.
Motor Trend on demand right now.
The driving line? No.
No, but somebody will come in here and probably tell us. That would be cool. Okay. Up and coming financially, looking at racing a Tesla and performance, of course. Not a lot you can do for power. They're complex, not very tunable yet. But the suspension, if you want to race one, wide body kit, big wheels and tires is a great way to go. And basically the Unplugged catalog. And that stuff's all on my race car. Good luck the rest of the weekend. Thanks, Sean. Love the content. Thank you. Get the 1LE on the mountain. I love it. Turbo, man. It'll run. It'll destroy that top section. It would be fun because 1LEs are such great handling cars. Quick response, but stable in a corner. And if you want to be sideways, you can. But they're not. But the car's not doing it on its own. It's in control. Every 1LE is fantastic handling car. Let's see, your thoughts on the future motorsports with less kids wanting to drive and own a car and Uber, Lyft driving people around. I think motorsports is going to become more and more of an entertainment. And in that way, it may even be better. It may even become, God forbid, the only way that we get to drive is on a track at some point. I do like the potential safety of these driver aids. They've already been a huge aid because cars are so much more powerful and so much faster than they were, and yet our death rates keep going down, death rates and total deaths. It's a big deal, especially our teens. We need to do serious teenage driving schools. It's not enough. Parents, I love you, but there needs to be professional driving schools required for every driver, especially teenagers. Okay. Would love to see me interview Elon in one of his vehicles while he rides shotgun around the track. It could happen. I don't know. He's a pretty important guy. He might not want to risk it, especially if he sees that video we put out the other day of Pikes Peak.
Let's all tweet him and get him to do it.
I remember when you had a flash green V70 Unicorn. Cool. Yeah, it was my daily driver. Turbo Volvo R wagon. Any Volvo R is a hot car.
Is it Downshift? Is that the name of the show? Downshift. Is that the one?
I think it's Downshift with Jeff Glucker.
Johnny Lieberman.
No, but you reminded me. Downshift is a show Johnny Lieberman did. It's Shift Talkers. That's the show.
There you go.
People are yelling at each other, and Jeff Glucker gives me this. At one point, he made us defend a position, like you did in school when they made you debate. It's Shift Talkers with Jeff Glucker, right, Ashley?
I think
Shift Talkers with Jeff Glucker.
that's what I'm looking up.
That's what it is. I was on there. It was fun. But watch the one with Lieberman in it. The guy's unbelievable. Something like, do you think machines are going to be able to take care of people, or how did he put it? And he said, I can't, watch the show. He was so funny, but I can't quite think of it. It was like, somebody asked if he was worried about machines hurting people, and he said something like, well, it seems like humans have done a pretty good job of hurting people up to this point, so maybe it won't be any worse. I had to laugh. He's right. That's the kind of stuff Johnny says. He says a lot of things where I think, man, I wish I have. Okay. James Spangenberg. I agree with Pobst. We don't ride horses for transportation anymore, but we still breed and race them. Cars will be no different. Yep. That could be how it ends up. Horse lovers still ride horses, and they're still out there, and that may be the way the cars end up. In some ways, that's going to be good, because I believe machines are going to greatly reduce the number of traffic accidents, and that's a good thing. And I also believe that if you want to go fast, get to a racetrack. Let's see here, especially in the corners.
What method of getting in the zone do you use? How do you get in the zone?
Christopher Kirk, how do you get in the zone? Thank you, John. I have a birth defect related to ADD. And one of the signs I read about ADD in a magazine article many years ago, it listed some of the symptoms. And they were not what you would think with ADD, like being distracted, right? One of the signs of ADD is that you can be incredibly focused in something that you like John over here when he's making a video. Me, driving a car, riding a motorcycle fast, turns on my brain. It focuses it, and nothing out here that it doesn't let anything in except what matters. And so that happens for me pretty much automatically. One trick I used in Autocross that works is close my eyes and run the course in my head. That's a trick that I'm also using here at Pikes Peak. In fact, every morning when I'm kind of like half awake, my eyes are already closed, I'm half awake, and I'm running the track in my mind, and it helps set it in my brain. I also deliberately try to keep my emotions down before a race or before a run. I learned this way back when I was doing pro solo in the 80s. Won 4 championships, by the way. And part of the way I did that, part of what Autocross execute. I'm a guy that drives too fast naturally, and I have to control that to do my best work. And that's what I didn't do 2 days ago. I controlled it, but not enough. And another driver asked about whether I'm getting slower. I don't think so, not yet. And you know, I'm trying to be honest with you about that, but I don't think so. Smarter, probably not. I think 2 days ago I proved sometimes I still just want to go so fast that I get in trouble. And most of the times I can catch it right here, but not on Tuesday. I've been a vegetarian for 30 years. I cheat a little bit. I eat eggs on the road sometimes. Not a bad idea in small quantities, probably. You know, people have different reasons for being vegetarian. When you meet one, it's always interesting to hear why they made that choice. And for me, it has really helped me stay in shape. When I get a physical to go racing and they take my blood pressure and pulse rate, I'm proud of the results. I don't take blood thinners or statins because I have high blood pressure. And one of the main reasons is I haven't been eating a lot of meat, especially beef, my whole life, because the animal fats build up in your veins. And we have drugs that can help you with that. It doesn't kill people as bad as it used to, but it will slow you down. And also, I don't exercise much. I get to drive cars so much now that in a way that's exercise. I mean, in a lucky dog race, I'll drive 3 or 4 hours or more, and I don't get tired either because I'm in that focused brain zone. You know, when you're doing something you really love, that you're really focused on, you don't feel pain, you don't get hungry, you don't get tired. And that's what it's like when I'm driving a car fast or riding a motorcycle down a windy road. I just love it that much. Let's see, tough crowd, somebody's picking on me, I don't mind, bring it. Just don't cuss, this family show. Let's see, we're talking about jet planes. Shout out to my buddy Patrick Neff, who's just gotten in the FX-16 for the first time as a U.S. Air Force fighter pilot. Still in training, but Patrick, keep up the good work, man. Proud of you. You know, Patrick wanted to be a jet fighter pilot from a glider ride he did with his grandpa when he was 6 or 7 years old. He carried that dream his whole life. He went to the Air Force Academy, graduated at the top of his class. He is now in an F-16. What a great story. He accomplished his goal. And yeah, he's the tender, what is he, 23, 24 years old? Amazing. James, you're welcome for the answers. Tony C., you were at my first solo national of 2010 when you ran FSP. How'd I do? We won! Anyway, will I be back? Yeah, kind of on the fence. And then the dang virus killed the solo nationals. It's not going to happen. But the Camaro is a great autocross car. I'd like to try it sometime. So we'll see. Yeah, I still believe in autocross, make you a better driver at low cost and low risk to your equipment. You meet a lot of really cool people. And the events are run very efficiently now. And it's almost like the cars and coffee with a race in it. You hang out with your buddies and you check out their cars, but you still get to drive too. Way less expensive and risky than road racing. Let's see, what's the current status on the Tesla? I don't know right now. They were working on it when I left, but Chief Tech Eddie Castellan sent a message, says that they're in, what do you say, it's in the last bits of tuning. I mean, he's probably aligning that car right now. They worked all night. I think we're going to make it. It's looking really good. We're going to test it tomorrow morning, and we'll do another daily video about what happens. Okay, Billy Hill, thanks a lot for being funny with your racial slurs. Go back in that hole you came out of, please. John O, can you erase comments?
I can try, yeah.
Yeah, no thanks, Billy. JB, I met you at Cars and Coffee in Atlanta. He was on my Honda CBX. Now there's a better subject. The CBX is a 6-cylinder, 1,000cc motorcycle that for about a year was the fastest motorcycle made. And my CBX is running great, and it's got 6 little carburetors on it. And I am always nervous about keeping that thing running because, yeah, go crazy. Take care of the jerks. Anyway, I'm always nervous about keeping the CBX running right because of ethanol. Never put ethanol in your old motorcycles because that will evaporate in just a matter of a few weeks, even 6 weeks to 3 months, clog up your jets. So my CBX is running great. My buddy nearby, Jeff, figured out how to fix the muffler on that thing and make it run right. And somebody has figured out how to post on the screen, right?
Mm-hmm.
Troll.
Here,
We've
sorry
been
guys,
trolled,
give me
my
one
friends.
second.
We're fixing it. John's working on it. We're gonna see. Hey, John, there's John. Let's see. What else we got going? The CBX is my favorite motorcycle, has been for years, because I always wanted to hear it with a 6-into-1 exhaust system at about 8,000 RPM. The wail is unbelievable. Better than any electric motorcycle could ever be. It's true. In motorcycles, I think I miss the engine more than I do in cars because motorcycles are not isolated like that. Motorcycles, you're basically a piece of the engine, and you're all one working together.
Sorry about that,
How we
guys.
doing?
Should be good now.
Great.
Hey,
Although
here's
comment-
that shirt.
Oh, well done. What type of racing do you want to try but have not yet? Baja, my buddy Jake down in Chuckwalla, and who was driving but Tanner Faust. And it's amazing how fast those trucks are, and they ride like this. They're so cushy. I'd like to try that. Thanks. Okay. Grandpa, can I get a Dodge Charger? Well, yeah. Head down to your dealer. You'll love it. It's fun. How do you compare driving a Tesla with a conventional car? The Tesla is like a conventional car, but it's smoother and it's quieter and it has more instant response on the power. So in a lot of ways, when and where does the Volvo hit the track next? Let's see, the Volvo is getting some work done by my buddy Sam in Montgomery, Alabama. And then Sam is going to drive the Flying Moose with our team. He's coming on board. But we haven't decided where the next race is going to be yet for sure. We might run that Lemons race in December at Road Atlanta. We might run down to Sebring. We have to look at the schedule and find out a date that works.
Eduardo needs to talk to you. It's important. So if you want to either go ahead and finish up.
Oh,
or-
Eduardo, Eddie
Yeah,
says
about
you
the
can
car.
stream the call. LOL.
Yeah, I'm not sure how to do that.
Maybe it's good.
But we can try.
Yeah,
Here, tell
can
him
you
that,
call Eddie?
uh,
Eddie is the chief tech working on our car. And we're kind of excited because that's going on right now down at the Eurocars shop. And I'm hoping it's good news because the car was still on the rack last time I was there. Let's see, TVR dude, TVR, whoa, dig it, that vintage car is so cool. I'm running an 08 S240 Exige at Chuckwalla for the first time on the 6th. That is a great car. The Exige is a lightweight Lotus. The 240 is probably the best or the fastest of all those models. They can be a little twitchy, so make sure you get your skid pad control under control. But I think you're going to love it. They're lightweight and they go fast. Okay, let's see. We're going to do 5 more questions. Thank you so much for coming on board with us tonight. Number 5, which GTLM would you rather drive? The C8R, the 911 RSR, or the Ford GT? I've driven the 911 RSR for Motor Trend, wrote a story about it about a year and a half ago. It was pretty fantastic. I'm gonna go with the C8R because it's so new and the street car is so exciting. And I've driven Ford GTs in several versions, and I have a shot at driving the Ford GT. I think it's called a Mark II, the track car version. A good friend of mine has one. I almost got in it the other day at Hypercar Invitational at Laguna Seca. May get another chance later. Okay, Nathan Amaral. Speaking of Air Force pilots, hi Nate Dog. Nathan says, what are some lessons you've learned from Pikes Peak that have helped you on normal road courses or in normal driving? Okay, how about one I learned 2 days ago? Be more careful on cold tires. What else from Pikes Peak is if the switchbacks, the road goes up so flat and it lifts the inside rear off the ground. So if you run at Pikes Peak to help keep that inside rear from spinning. That's just a Pikes Peak tip, Nate Dog. Camaro one owner as well. Let's see, next. Hope you're doing well, thank you. Try out Baja in my 1988 DAF Turbo Twin like Jan de Roy. A DAF at Baja? Sure, make a great video. Let's do it. Okay, 2 more. Thanks for the each tips, yep. What was it like to crash the first time? You mean the first time I ever crashed a car? And that would have been 1985 Volkswagen Cup. I was at Sonoma Raceway and I early apexed what I think is turn 4, a downhill right-hander, early apexed. In other words, I turned in too soon. I got on the power too soon, which made me run off the road at the exit of the corner out into a little bit of a drainage ditch and bang up the front of my brand new VW Golf. It made me angry and worried. And it's funny, when I crash, and in that moment, I don't get scared. Even when I flew the GTR off the mountain, what happens is I get pissed because I know I'm wrecking this car. And I wonder if we're gonna be able to get it fixed and get it back in the race or back on Pikes Peak. So crashing is a risk that is part of racing and driving fast. And part of this chose to do so. And it's part of why I enjoy it. It's part of the thrill, and it's part of the challenge, and it's part of the reward when it goes right. Let's see, one more. Please comment on the T.50. I read about that car. This is Gordon Murray's new supercar. Oh my gosh. Jason Camissa said he made him drool. The spec on that car is unbelievable. I can't help but love it. Super high RPM engine, super lightweight, a sucker fan that draws air out from under the car to improve its downforce, center seating, unbelievable. A beautiful car, and I might be lucky enough to be in a position to get a ride in one of those. I know a couple guys that are probably going to buy them, and maybe we can go out and do a video on that. And let's see, I guess that does it. Thinking very highly. Great synopsis done by Gordon Murray himself in an interview, I think was on Top Gear. Either that or look up what Jason Camissa or Johnny Lieberman say about it, because it'll be amazing and it'll be correct. And it'll be their opinions. Every person is entitled to their opinion.
And we do have a Patreon.
Sanjay says some tracks don't allow EVs due to fire concerns. Here at Pikes Peak, that was an issue as well. And we were required to set up an easy-to-reach cutoff switch built in when they kind of like how an airbag senses an impact and goes off. There's a fuse in the Tesla, pyrotechnic fuse, that cuts the electric power if there's a crash. And that happened in my car when I crashed it. We had to replace that fuse, among many other things, to repair the car.
We should mention that we've got a Patreon for you. We've had a couple people talking about it. We haven't put a lot of stuff on there, but
Oh.
we'd be glad to start doing it. So
We have a Patreon,
yeah, it's Randy Pobst. It's just like on YouTube.
Randy Pobst.
Yeah.
And you know, it's kind of great having a name that almost nobody else has. I think there's one guy in Kansas whose name is Randy Pobst, and he likes beer, and he seems like kind of a cool guy. But we do have a Patreon, so you know, like I say, we're still young. This channel is brand new, but man, we're having a good time, and so many people came on. For those of you I didn't get to, see you next time, and hopefully that'll work out. For those of you who did the super chats, thank you very much. Great to have you on board. For all the good wishes here, thank you. I'm fine. The car looks like it's going to run. Stay tuned. There's another video tomorrow, and then hopefully I get my second chance to run a great handling, very fast, unplugged performance Tesla Model 3 up the Pikes Peak International Hill Climb. Thanks, people. Love ya.